going on, YouTube? Welcome back to the channel. It feels really good to be back after taking a couple weeks off. You saw in the last video we were working on our carport to get it ready for our new car trailer for the 350Z. But you know, it's been a minute and it feels really good. So in today's episode, we'll be prepping to get the car off to the exhaust shop, and that entails getting rid of the rest of the factory exhaust. I think we're still axle back, got a big muffler canister in the back, and then we'll also be getting our fuel lines pinned up. Got these clips from Earl's, and we'll just use some self-tappers, I think, and go up through the floor. We'll play with it, we'll see what happens. And then zip tying any loose wires, getting the wheels and tires on, putting it on the ground for the first time, seeing how much the coilovers compress, and then we'll probably have to adjust them. There's a little bit added weight. I think it's probably about 100 pounds more than factory, maybe give or take. And we'll go from there. Stay tuned. Alright, I'm back with the trusty hood prop. Oh yeah, plenty of room for activities. So now what we're going to do is we're going to wire up our alternator. I have this, see if it will zoom in. It's from Holly, and it's the one wire alternator connector, and it has a resistor in line, because if you put your switch 12 volt power to the alternator directly with no resistor, it will burn it up. And I want to say, this is just top of head, but I want to say it's a 470 with like a half watt or something resistor. So you saw the part number, you can look it up for yourself if you're interested or doing this as well. There you go. Move you guys in a little closer so you can see. So looking at the alternator, there's this plug in the back, and this is just a cheap reman alternator. I figured if I made it far enough for it to matter, I would switch it out. But you see the plug here. Plug here, you can see this little heat shrink part is where the Holly wires in the resistor. So this is easy, it's just a one wire. You're gonna plug it in there, and we'll feed it around to a keyed ignition switch. Alright, underneath the car, this is the big exhaust that we have to pull out, and then it stops where the Y pipe normally collects. So there is a hanger here for this guy, and it comes off of the muffler here. So I'm going to try that. You can see everything's pretty rusty. And then there's a hanger, there's 4 hangers for the big muffler. I think that's it. So let's give that a shot. Kind of tight under here, hard to maneuver. So now we gotta get that off of its hanger, which you can see right there. It's the only thing holding it now. All right, and there you have it. Ooh, I'm out of breath. That was difficult. All right, on to the next step. So this is going to be the first startup with the new exhaust. The guys at the shop didn't want to be filmed, but I respect that, so here we go. As you can hear, I got some crazy air idle control valve whistle, and I think I'm gonna remedy that by picking up a new Nick Williams throttle body this weekend, but we'll see. So let me get it all strapped down and we'll get out of here. Alright, so after all of that fun commotion, getting the car into the trailer, and maybe a clip of, you know, putting the car in the trailer after we got the exhaust. The guys at the exhaust shop didn't really want to be on film, didn't really want to be on the internet, and I totally get it. It's cool. So we didn't get much footage there, and then got the car back home, pulled it out of the trailer, and was letting it get up to temperature, playing with the IAC because you can hear some crazy whistling, and I'll show you guys what I did. But at a cold idle, it whistles like crazy, and then once it gets up to temperature, 160 degrees, that IAC valve closes down to somewhere between 2 and 10%. Right now I have it at like 5%, which is pretty good, and the whistling completely goes away, so hopefully I can get a clip of that. But I'm running into a problem where the fuel pressure at idle is really high, and I think I have a solution for that. So that's going to require me to pop out our fuel pump housing behind the passenger seat, and you saw we modified that in a previous video. So if you haven't seen that, I'll put a link in the description for that video. But what we did is we put a Walbro 485 pump in, and I think we need to drill out one of the Venturi ports. So let me get my life situated. It's early on a Saturday morning. Still need to grab some coffee, but once we pop that fuel housing out, I'll show you what I think the issue is. Throw it back in, give it a try. If it's not that, I have one more idea, so stay with me. Alright, we're back behind the passenger seat, which is my least favorite place to be. It is so tight back here. Such a pain in the butt, and that's alright. We gotta get this fuel housing out again, so I'll just Disconnect that. Oh boy. Alright, we're going to pop out this guy right here, and I believe it's a Venturi Jet. And it helps with, I don't know, pulling, like, with like suction of getting the fuel from the driver's side tank over to the passenger side tank, because it's got a hump in it where the drive shaft goes through. Okay, there you can see it right there, and this little hole is what we're going to drill out, and we're going to drill it with a 764, and that size depends on what size fuel pump you're going to be using, so you want to be very gentle with it. There it is. See if you can see that again. So you can see the hole is much bigger than what we started with. Just be careful not to go out the back side. You just want to drill the little opening. We're going to pop that guy back in here. Make sure you still have that O-ring, because that's important. And I think that's going to work. So we'll pop this back in the car, start it up, and see what kind of fuel pressure our Holley system's reading. Turn it on. Alright, let's see what kind of fuel pressures we get. I'll move my chair up. Okay. Go into -3, got fuel pressure up there. Give it the old shake. Check it out. Perfect. That is perfect. I actually might need to bump it up a little bit, but we were sitting right at 80, which is extremely high, you know, to be sitting at idle. So it worked. That's awesome. I did some playing with the IAC valve and some tuning in the Holley system. So the car's up to about 160 degrees, which tells the Holley that it's no longer cold, and the IAC valve closes to about 5%. So here's an exhaust clip without as much whistle from the throttle body. Alright, that's a wrap on today's video. Didn't get to film as much of the exhaust as we wanted, but got to hear it run without exhaust. Fixed the fuel pressure problem, which is preventing me from driving it down the street. Also preventing me from idling and getting the Holley system to learn. So in the next video, I want to get the radiator fans working off the Holley system. And I want to get the Holley system learning, and I want to smooth out the fuel map, and I want to take it for a ride. So pretty exciting, can't wait for that. As always, if you like the video, leave it a big thumbs up. If you like what we're doing on the channel, hit that subscribe button. Stay tuned for the next episode.